Lovely grass. Oh, lovely grass. Oh, look, there's Peter Vaughan.
And you get adaptive cruise control, alarm, automatic headlights, auto dimmable rear view mirror, automatic wipers, body coloured bumpers and mirrors, as I said, cab carpet, the chrome strip on the grille, climatic air conditioning, power folding mirrors and electric adjustment for those as well. Also has some additional options: heated cab seats, a rear view camera, a solar panel on the roof and the roof bed. 2.04 metres by 1.07 metres, that's 6'8" by 3'6". It's a good size bed again, 1.98 metres long by 1.22 metres wide. So really crucial storage for a van like this. Furniture is very nicely finished. Release these two catches and lift up this bar and it simply comes all the way forward. It's about 1.65 metres or 5'5" long. The table mounts into a bracket on the front of the seat. It's getting a bit warm now, so it's easy to appreciate those opening or fully opening side windows. My phone now says it's 35 degrees and we're still not even at 11 o'clock. Woof, 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 woof. Hello, I'm Peter Vaughan, and today I've got a little bit of trepidation because it's supposed to be 42 degrees today. It's just gone 6 in the morning, just about to start filming. Sky is already looking very blue and it's already 20 degrees. So let's hope I don't look too sweaty by the end of this film. This film of the CMC HemBil Escape-SL, very latest long wheelbase VW T6.1 Transporter campervan. Where am I? Well, I'm at the Caravan and Motorhome Club's Ferry Meadows site at Peterborough, and they've given me the use of the rally field for the day. Rally field or bunny field, I'm not sure, because it seems to have been taken over by the rabbits. You might see the odd one scurrying around in the film, although I do seem to have frightened them off. Shouldn't have frightened them off with this, because it's a very unscary looking vehicle, isn't it? A very handsome vehicle. I have to say, when the T6.1 replaced the T6, I wasn't fond of this much deeper grille, but now I've got rather used to it. And they of course remind you that it is a transporter, as if you didn't know. This one's in Ravenna blue, very handsome colour I think, but metallic paint is around £1,800, including the colour matched roof. Ouch. Being a Highline spec transporter, this one's got loads of extra equipment on it. Things like the colour keyed bumpers and mirrors are the obvious features. You've got the Devonport 17-inch alloy wheels too, which I think again rather suit the van. They're not too big, not like the big 20-inch wheels that you sometimes see on campers that ruin the ride and just look a bit OTT. This one is nice and subtle. You've got this privacy glass down the side, and it's the proper VW windows with the much bigger opening sections, not the little opening sections that are set back and can cause wind noise because they're not flush. These are completely flush. You've got opening section in the sliding door window and in the kitchen window over on the other side. So perhaps it's time to talk a little bit about spec and prices. Now, you can have an Escape-SL on a VW Start Line van, in which case CMC call it their Smart Line range. Prices for that on a short wheelbase start at £53,500. Move up to the Comfort range, which is based on the Highline Volkswagen as seen here, and you get adaptive cruise control, an additional 12-volt socket on the dash, an alarm, that's Thatcham category 1. You get automatic headlights, auto dimmable rear view mirror, automatic wipers, body coloured bumpers and mirrors, as I said, cab carpet, the chrome strip on the grille, climatic air conditioning, power folding mirrors and electric adjustment for those as well. Grab handles and storage trays in the cab. Front fog lights with the cornering function. I do like those. They're a nice feature to have. Front and rear parking sensors. Grab handles on the A-pillars. Heated windscreen. Opening window, opening front and fix these opening windows here. Privacy glass. Alloy wheels and the bricks upholstery. On top of that, CMC add for their comfort models additional lighting, additional power points, 12 volt and mains, the awning rail that you see along here, deluxe interior lighting, easy fit elevating roof. There's a simpler elevating roof on the cheaper model. You get Eberspacher blown air heating, the table storage on the door that you'll see later on, and the Variotech 3000 seat system. Now, if you go for the comfort range version of the Escape-SL, it then starts at 62,750. That's with a 110 PS engine and a 5-speed manual gearbox. Now, we haven't got that version here. We've got a DSG automatic with the 150 PS engine, and that is the sweet spot in the range. Whether you want manual or automatic, the 150 engine is a nice compromise between the 110, where you only get a 5-speed manual gearbox. It can be a bit buzzy on the motorway. The 150 comes with a 6-speed manual or the 7-speed DSG, which I'm a big fan of. But the 7-speed DSG and 150 engine take this up to 67,586. And again, that's for the short wheelbase. If you want to go for a long wheelbase, that adds another 2 grand. And then this one has been further upgraded from there on to go from a 3-ton to a 3.2 ton base vehicle. That gives this one about a 600 kilo payload. So always worth considering with Volkswagens because there's so many different variations. Prices can look a bit of a wide spectrum, but there's a hell of a difference between a 110 PS start line van and a 204 PS DSG, 4Motion, long wheelbase, etc, etc. So we've got quite a high spec van here with the high line and the 150 DSG. It's about where you'd want to be really. Now the long wheelbase takes the overall length from 4.9 metres up to 5.3 metres. So an extra 400 mil. Great for internal living space, as we'll see later on, but it does make it just that little bit less manoeuvrable if you're using it as an everyday car. It doesn't fit quite as well in a supermarket parking bay, and because I'm so used to driving a short wheelbase one, there was an occasion on the way here where I clipped a curb just turning at a T-junction. You'd soon get used to it, but just remember this is a longer van. Now CMC's demonstrator here also has some additional options. Heated cab seats, a rear view camera, a solar panel on the roof and the roof bed, taking the total to £74,822, which is similar sort of money to Volkswagen's own conversion, the California Ocean. But if you're making that comparison, there are 2 things, of course, to note at the outset. First of all, with this CMC Escape, the sliding door is on the UK near side, so you'll be letting your passengers out onto the pavement when you park in the road. And the other thing, of course, is that you can't buy a California in long wheelbase form. So if you do want that extra space, then it is well worth considering alternatives such as this Escape-SL. By now, I'm sure you'll have noticed the very clean lines of this vehicle. No fridge vents on the outside, no fussy graphics. Even the mains hookup is discreetly hidden under the back bumper. So it has a very automotive, very sort of MPV, multi-purpose vehicle sort of look about it. And if you're going to use it as a daily driver, I think that's rather important. Important too, perhaps, if you're planning a bit of stealthy off-grid camping. And I should tell you too, a little bit about CMC, the company that makes this conversion. Based down in Hythe in Kent, they've been going since 1988. So they know a thing or two about converting VW vans. In fact, they were the original importers of Rymo components. And of course, it's a Rymo roof from Germany on this van, as well as a Rymo sliding seat system. The quality of their conversions has been proven through the years, and they have a whole range of different models, of which this Escape-SL is one of the latest. With the roof down, there's this neat cover so that you don't see any of the canvas sidewalls of the campervan roof. So the first job is to just pull that out of the way and then simply undo straps that hold the roof down when you're driving. You just give the roof a bit of a shove and the gas struts do all the hard work for you. Then with the roof up, you just need to push the bed out of the way. Again, gas struts do all the work. Now let's get some light into the vehicle. So you've got a window at the front of the roof, and then you've got fly screen vents on either side. Again, you just roll the material up. So the next thing to do is spin the front seats round. There's just a little release handle at the front. These are the Volkswagen factory fitted swivels, so you know that they're safe and secure. You do have to release the handbrake for the driver's seat, but of course we're in park as an automatic, and on the driver's seat you will need to adjust the backrest to get it to go round. Now there is a slight compromise with the driver's seat because you've got the kitchen there, but it's still perfectly usable because this isn't a particularly wide kitchen. And now you've got 5 seats on site, same as you have 5 seats for travel. So now you can see this is the classic side kitchen campervan as seen in so many VWs. But they're not all born equal. And this one is very much a high quality conversion, and look at the extra space you get with the long wheelbase. Furniture is very nicely finished, no doors sitting proud of the furniture, everything is nice and flush and beautifully made. Little cupboard under the sink, odds and ends, a large drawer for cutlery, although there aren't actually dividers to separate your spoons from your forks and so on. Another good sized drawer for plates and bowls and cups and so on. Porta potty cupboard, so you have got the essential for emergencies at night and so on. Cooking is the usual 2-burner hob and sink all in one Dometic unit. Now the kitchen in the Escape-SL is about 80mm narrower than in the standard Escape. So you haven't got the option here of a grill that you can have in the standard Escape, but having the narrower unit does give you a wider rear seat. It makes this swivel seat much more usable. Really, the intrusion here from the kitchen is negligible. And like in the standard Escape, you've got a choice of fridges. Now in the Escape-SL, this one has a 39-litre Dometic front-loading fridge here. But alternatively, you could have a 36-litre top-loading fridge here if you prefer. Now, in this one, you've got a cupboard that is very deep with a trapdoor in the bottom that goes down into this area as well. But if you prefer, as I say, you can have a fridge in that area. I like top-loading fridges, not everybody does. The advantage is on a particularly hot day like today, you lose the cool temperature of the fridge so much when you open the door because, of course, cool air sinks. What else can I show you? Well, this shelf. Well, when I got my CMC Urban campervan, I thought this was a bit of a waste of space, to be honest, but actually it's quite useful for little lightweight odds and ends. I'm surprised how much stuff we managed to cram in there in our van, and it never comes out as I thought it might when we get onto twisty roads. Then at the back here you've got your controls, your main override switch, and then lights, water pump, fridge, and this one at the bottom with the mystery switch. If you turn that off, it simply turns off the lights to tell you everything's on. Just a little nice touch for at night when perhaps you don't want red lights glowing. You've got your Eberspacher heater control here, and then down here, conveniently placed for this large worktop, you've got a 230 volt and a 12 volt socket. I should have said too that this Votronic control panel shows you battery condition, how much input you're getting from the solar panel and how much power you're using. With the long wheelbase, the extra floor space is really useful if you've got dogs. And the other thing that you benefit from is this extra cupboard here. So that's where your extra 400 millimeters goes in the length of the furniture. As I say, this is a wider seat in the Escape-SL, and I've just put the bed down again to show you that when you're travelling, you have got reasonable headroom. Now, if you're very tall, you'd need to check that out for yourself, but it is better than in a lot of vehicles that use the RIB rear seat, because that tends to be a bit high off the floor. Also, for me, certainly this is a more comfortable seat height, decent amount of shape, and you've got these height adjustable headrests too, and 3 rear seat belts. A much better solution than having a double passenger seat if you need 5 seat belts for travel. Those double passenger seats are always very fiddly to rotate, and also you have a fixed backrest in the cab then, and you haven't got your walk through. So this is a better solution if you want those 5 seats. In fact, you can even go further, and for £1,500 each, you can add 2 extra individual rear travel seats, especially in this long wheelbase van, because you've got the extra length. Watch for Payload. This one, obviously on the 3.2 ton van, you're fine, but if you were to fit that on some conversions, you might struggle. But here, you could go up to a 7-seater if you need to. Now, this Rymo Variotech 3000 seat system also comes with 2 ISOFIX points. Great if you've got kids. But the really important part is that it slides along these rails in the floor. Just release these 2 catches and lift up this bar, and it simply comes all the way forward. And now, if you're a 5-seater car, well, you've got plenty of legroom still, and you're nice and close to those in the front. Really important if you've got young children that they're close to mum and dad up front. Of course, the other benefit of sliding the seat forward is the massive load space that you then have. It's about 1.65 metres or 5'5" long, this load bay. And you can actually make it longer still if you don't need to carry passengers, because you can then slide the seat right the way up to the cab, or even if you're feeling strong, because I would imagine this is quite a weighty piece of kit. It's, of course, crash tested and TUV approved and all the rest of it, so it's a proper seat system. But it's removable too, so you could actually turn the whole back of the van into a sort of, well, into a van. More storage back here, of course. You've got this tambour door locker with a shelf. You've got your RCD in there as well. 2 12-litre portable water containers. Simply, when one runs out, you swap the other over. I've found those very convenient in my van, so you don't have to drive off to the tap when you run out of water. Down in the bottom here is a gas compartment, still lined, vented through the floor, and that takes 1 Camping Gas 907, a 2.75 kilo cylinder, and then a couple more cupboards in the corner there. Now, when comparing campers of this type, it's always worth looking at this boot area, because it's such a key part of your storage. Yes, you've got storage in the kitchen, but for bulkier items, and particularly your bedding, you have to think about where else you're going to keep it, because some campers of this type really have very limited boot space. They might have a cupboard under here, but often the seats are designed in such a way that you have just a very small area on top here. Now here we've got 2 pillows and a double duvet, and there's still loads of room. You could have soft bags for clothes, extra clothes and all sorts on this area. Toys for the kids maybe. So really, really crucial storage for a van like this. And here's another clever feature. The table mounts into a bracket on the front of the seat. So wherever the seat is, the table's always in the right place for the bench. And you can also slide the seat right forward so that the table can also be reached by the cab seats. Table leg stores just behind the driver's seat and just slots into that fixing. And the table itself, well, that stores completely out of the way on the inside of the sliding door. And then you just screw it in from underneath, and there you go. It's getting a bit warm now, so it's easy to appreciate those opening or fully opening side windows. My phone now says it's 35 degrees and we're still not even at 11 o'clock. In the evening, you'll also appreciate the lighting in here. You've got LED strips under the kitchen shelf, 2 along this side, 1 over the head of the bed, and the best lights of all, the most important in many ways, are the 2 spotlights over the cab seats when they're swiveled, because they're a really nice place to sit and read in the evening. Now, as it was so hot last night, I slept in the roof, and it's a great bed. You simply pull it back down and then climb up via the seats and the kitchen unit. Because this is a long wheelbase, you've got a really wide access point up into the roof. And then up here, you've got a double bed, 2.04 metres by 1.07 metres. That's 6'8" by 3'6", and it's all on a sprung frame. So it's a really comfortable bed. You've got an extra flexible wand reading light up here with USB port as well. But do note that this bed is an £885 option. The other option, of course, is to turn the rear seat into a bed. And you just simply lift up the front of it, flip it over, and then there's a handle under the seat to lift to drop the backrest down. And as you can see, the bedding's already in position just to be unfolded onto the bed. And it's a good sized bed again, 1.98 metres long by 1.22 metres wide, which is 6'6" by almost exactly 4 foot. In fact, if you count the measurement rather than the mattress, but wall to kitchen, you've got another couple of inches there as well. Curtains are on rails top and bottom, so they give you pretty effective blackout, and you've got curtains that press stud around the cab, and that leaves a neat area in the cab. You don't have any interference with the seat belts from curtains hanging, and it means that there's no interruption of driver visibility as well. But the key thing is that this bed is completely flat. You've just got the 3 cushions that make the bed, so no nasty ridges. It's a nice, flat, comfortable bed, and a lot wider, or quite noticeably wider than you'd get in a lot of VW campers because of the slightly narrower kitchen. Another thing to note is that this being the long wheelbase, you've got that much extra floor space when the bed's made up. You can still get to your cooker and sink, most of your cupboards, and there's plenty of room if you need to use the loo. Also, if you've got pets, well, dogs could sleep under the foot of the bed. Woof, 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 woof. Right, I think it's time to pop down the roof and escape. So, driving the latest Transporter, well, for a lot of campervan buyers, unless it's got a VW badge on it, they're really not interested. That said, if you're a bit more open You can have your Escape-SL on either a Ford Transit Custom or a Renault Traffic, and the Renault option will save you a considerable amount of money. But if you want a VW, well, this is probably the spec to have, and there's no doubt that a T6.1 with DSG is always going to keep a really good resale value. DSG box is lovely. It's a twin clutch automatic, very smooth, can't fault it really. And this 2 litre 150 PS engine, well, it's got plenty of go and you can go up to 204 PS, but there really is no need for most buyers. Ride quality is excellent. I think it's probably even better with the long wheelbase. And it's a very quiet drive. There's almost no conversion noise. The engine is very refined. The only thing I would fault really is that when Volkswagen facelifted the T6 and it became T6.1, they did away with the left footrest. Why? So you've now got this much bulkier sort of centre console where the automatic gear stick is. Well, that seems a step in the wrong direction. This one's got heated seats, which I definitely won't be using today, as it's now 40 degrees outside. It's all very car-like, and well, if you're used to driving a VW, I'm sure you'll absolutely love it. So, my final verdict on the CMC HemBil Escape-SL. Well, I think I need to make it quick because before long I'm going to look like an ice cream that's been left in the sun. The first thing I should say is that this is built on a brand new Transporter T6.1, not a pre-registered or second-hand base vehicle, and so it has to be type approved. It is under the National Small Series type approval scheme, and that gives you a lot of peace of mind in terms of the safety of the conversion. If you're looking at other VW campers that aren't type approved, you really do need to be asking yourself why they aren't. What else? Well, you've got that crash tested Rymo seat system, which is so versatile in the way it slides into its various different positions. You've got the Rymo roof too, and Rymo have 40 years experience in pop tops, and they're TUV approved, so under the German quality standard. The rest of the conversion, of course, is UK built. So you've got the door on the UK side, you've got really nicely finished furniture and all sorts of options, so you can bespoke the van in terms of the spec down to what you need. If you want things like lithium batteries, extra travel seats, all the options that you can think of are there. Leather trim, whatever you want, CMC will probably have it on their options list. Long wheelbase, well, it does give you that quite a bit more space in terms of that central living area, doesn't it? You just need to weigh up whether the downside of the extra length for parking and so on is going to be an issue for you. But still, VW campers have fantastic resale values if they're top quality conversions like this. And what a great vehicle to use every day and then go camping at the weekend. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this latest video more than I've enjoyed filming it, because it has been just a little bit warm. More videos though will come along very soon, when maybe it won't be quite 40 degrees.
Lovely grass. Oh, lovely grass. Oh, look, there's Peter Vaughan.